Long time ago, many people were wondering about the origin of life on Earth. How did life begin on Earth? What is the source of life? How long has life been existing? These three questions were always going through people's head many centuries ago. As a result, a lot of scientists have been thinking and searching for clues to find an answer to these questions. One theory is that protein is the building block of life because living organisms are like everything else composed of molecules. This drove Stanley Miller to conduct an experiment where he got two flasks, one containing water which represented the primeval ocean and the other containing a mixture of hydrogen, methane and ammonia, which represented the early atmosphere of the Earth. He connected the two flasks, exposing them to electrical sparks as a stand-in for lightning. After a few days, the water color turned green, and molecules of fatty acids, sugars, amino acids and other organic compounds were formed. But amino acids were not suddenly formed, but they formed due to some chemical reactions. But from where did these elements came to Earth? How did they arrive? Lord Kelvin came up with another very interesting theory that germs of life might have been brought to the Earth with some meteorite, and some theories mention that meteorites from space hit the Earth bringing amino acids, phosphorus and carbon, which are the basic elements of life to Earth. There was evidence for this theory, as when Apollo 11 came from space it brought samples of rocks and they found that these rocks contain amino acids. In addition, they found that Halley Comet contained 25% organic compounds. But how did the early Earth look like? Well, scientists did great effort to describe the Earth and how it looked like before. After many explorations, they found that the early atmosphere was nothing like as primed for development as Miller expected in his experiment, but rather was a much less reactive blend of nitrogen and carbon dioxide. Back then, oxygen did not exist. For 2 billion of years, bacterial organisms were the only form of life on Earth. The bacteria lived in water, absorbed it, and released oxygen as a waste, and in so doing, they invented photosynthesis. In an anaerobic world, oxygen being released by bacteria, organisms began to adapt and there became the new oxygen-using organisms. A kind of bacterial rock filled the shallows in the foreground. They are considered as a kind of living rock that have some varieties of primitive organisms living just at the surface, and others living just underneath, each taking advantage of conditions created by the other. Since then, the world had its first ecosystem. Evolution takes place and new bacterial organisms were existing. After that, new types of cells arose. Some are with nucleus and some others are little bodies named as organelles. This process started when blundering or adventuring bacterium either invaded or was captured by other bacterium. Then they adapted to life. After a while, a new type of cells containing nucleus have been known as eukaryote. Single-celled eukaryote was known as protozoa. The evolution process continues till it reached us now. Many theories and hypotheses were made. Some of them were supported while some others were not.